Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Continuing our top 15 series. We've got something special lined up for you today. I know so many of you have been asking for a customer reviews analysis for this one. Well, we're finally doing it, but before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. So, this tri-fuel generator has been my go-to option for keeping the lights on when storms roll through Houston. It sits in that sweet spot between a full house backup and a punchy portable unit. A compromise that makes sense if you want natural gas as the main fuel but don't want to drop a fortune. I looked at a few options, and while this isn't as powerful as a true whole house setup, it's far cheaper and still keeps the essentials running. One big plus for this generator is the outlet setup. The Champion I considered had plenty of wattage, but its 30 amp outlet just isn't enough to start my smaller air conditioner and furnace combo. This unit, with a 50 amp outlet, can handle that load. And the digital gauge is a nice to have that actually pays off when you're trying to balance loads and manage a few appliances at once. It feels a bit more capable once you're dialing in what's running. The natural gas part is where you really have to think it through though. The manual talks about gas volume and BTUs, and I found you need a steady supply to avoid headaches. I ended up running a connection off a 3/4 inch line that feeds my pool heater. The line's regulator size and the gas volume were key factors, because using a smaller line or a tight regulator can really limit performance. It's not a plug-and-play kind of thing. I had to plan carefully and even consider the distance from the meter to the unit. Assembly and installation are not the quick start posters on YouTube make them seem. This thing is heavy, around 400 pounds, so you're going to want to flip it onto its wheels and move it with a helper. The shipping brace, wheels and other bits require a few tools beyond what's in the toolkit. I used a couple of socket wrenches and a bit of patience to get it rolling. The natural gas hose came with a reducer that I didn't need, but removing it was a wrestling match with a couple of strong wrenches. Not a deal breaker, just a heads up. Starting it up wasn't instant either. The battery did its job, but the crank initially took a few tries before it caught and ran. I'm guessing that primer step or letting the line fill a bit was part of it, but it's not a one-push kind of start. Oil isn't included, so you'll want to have about a quart of 10W30 on hand for break-in. The break-in period per the manual is 6 to 8 hours under light load, and they caution against synthetic oil for that initial phase. It's a step you don't want to skip. The idle control is one quirky bit I ended up adjusting. It worked fine after I tweaked the actuator, but it wasn't flawless out of the box. If you're not comfortable tweaking that kind of thing, you might want to factor in a service visit or plan for some trial and error. After I finally wired in the interlock kit and a proper 50 amp receptacle, this setup powered a smaller air conditioner, 2 refrigerators, lights, and the usual living room electronics with a comfortable margin. You're looking at about a 60% load in those conditions, and it held up well so far. It's heavy, yes, but the build feels solid, and for the goal of not paying full house prices, this generator hits a fair balance. Not perfect, but I'd buy it again for the right use case.